Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. This is my boy Chainber, otherwise known as Chainber TV. I am Davo, otherwise known as the Lean Armenian, and we are here. And Chainber has some news for us, people. He has just told us that he now officially and only will identify and answer to Batman because he is a bat sexual.
This is true. I finally decided and accepted it. I'm a bat sexual.
Will you care to elaborate?
Only as you address me as Batman, Dark Knight, Bats, or Sir Batman, or
Can I mix the two names? Can I call you Chain Bats?
No.
Why not?
Or he who hangs out on top of gargoyles. He who sits on gargoyles. No, I'm just playing. You can play Chainber.
I can't stand you. Why? Can I ask you a question? Why? What spurred the moment of you being like really in love with Batman? Like, obviously it happened when you were younger, but like, what was the thing that made you in love with him?
I wouldn't say I'm in love with Batman.
Yes, you are. You're a bat sexual. You're only in love with Batman.
I mean, I love things about Batman. He's the greatest. I mean, I would say I'm like a low tier Batman fan.
Shut the fuck up. Don't even start.
Dude, I'm actually getting a Batman blanket coming in real soon with the Bat logo and everything.
I can't wait to give you the things that we had gotten for you. They're up there still.
Yeah.
But
anyway, no, dude, like I grew up reading the shit, I remember watching the 89 Batman movies when I was a little kid. Dude, those blew me away, dude. Jack Nicholson, dude,
Jack Nicholson as the Joker was pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude,
we should rewatch that actually. You want to watch that soon?
Yeah, we can.
I would love to watch that over again because I haven't seen it in a long time.
Dude, it's really well done. Like if you watch it, that is probably one of the best comic book accurate movies for a superhero at the time. Like more accurate than the Superman stuff and everything. Like Tim Burton did a really good job casting it. Although I will say that his version of Bruce Wayne was very bland as far as like, you don't get the Playboy persona that well in that version of Batman. But I love how they build up the lore about him, like just in short little clips, like, like there's a part in the movie that I just love. And it's this part where these guys, they rob this couple and then they're splitting the stuff. And the guy's talking about, dude, I'm nervous. He's like, why? You know about him, the Batman. And it's like, and then this guy's like, dude, ain't no Batman, and like there's always
Batman, this fucking guy.
And the next thing you know, Batman's like dropping behind him silhouettely and like, oh snap, it's Batman. It's so cool. And I love the myths of a hero like that more than him actually existing, because what's more scarier, the lore behind a character of that fashion or anything? Because like it's one thing to be a vigilante,
right?
But it's one thing to be something that people are afraid of.
Yeah, to be known like as this like fearsome thing.
Yeah,
which is weird because that's like Scarecrow's motto, isn't that essentially?
Well, Batman uses fear. That's his number one tactic.
Well, yeah.
And what made it so neat is that Batman uses all these tactics to his advantages. Even like what makes it really neat is that you see when he retired and The Dark Knight Returns and he comes back, he's no longer a myth. He's a legend.
Right.
So it's like, the new generation, they're like, oh, he doesn't exist. And if he did, he ain't shit. So he had to come.
And then there's other people like, I've seen him. I've seen the Batman.
Yeah. And the coolest thing about it is that, when he comes back, he has to be more brutal than ever. He can't hold back because for one thing, he's older.
Yeah.
So like, he can't let certain things slip like he normally could. He has to be fully aggressive. He can't not slack in the littlest. And that's what makes it so neat because, he embraces more of his ninja skills then than he did. Now he embraces more of the ninja style training he did then than he does now. I mean, now than he did back then because he was younger. He was able to take more bullets. He was able to fight. He had more stamina. But it's neat seeing him be more of a ninja in the night and everything. And it's just so cool seeing Batman do and does what he does best, which is striking fear, kicking ass. And I just love the costumes and the ideas of him. It's just so cool growing up reading that. And then I had like the action figures. And like, I was a really bad reader when I was a kid. I remember being like in the third or fourth grade, and I wasn't a strong reader. And Batman was one of the things that helped me out because I remember when I was a little kid, my dad, he collected comic books over the years of being in the army and stuff like that. And he had comic books like Thor, Batman, X-Men, Hulk, just tons of comic books like that. Like you name it, he had it. Shit ton of Spider-Man comics.
Right.
Like he had all types, So I grew up reading a lot of Marvel comics. But then when I was able to really get my own, there was a comic store down the street I still go to it to this day as a little kid, and I just bought Batman Detective Comics and I just started reading them, and it's just something I just loved. And I read all my dad's comics, and then like if I didn't know what a word was, I ran to him or my mom. What is this word? And I read it, and then I was reading it at like a high school, college level in elementary school.
Yeah.
Because I was reading comics that had like these big, crazy, over the top words, like, and then they had like so much onomatopoeia in that stuff, like pow, peppy, zoop, zip,
Yeah,
you know.
all those
So,
sound effects. I wonder,
yeah.
like, who was the person behind those? Like, who was the person? Like, how would I say this in words? And like, they would just be in the fucking like bathroom or like just in their house all day, like,
Mm.
zzz, zzz,
Yeah. Well, the
zzz,
beauty about it is
what?
if you watch the old school, if you watch the old school Adam West Batman TV show, they put the onomatopoeia in there.
Did they?
And it's just, yeah, it's so cool because like 1 minute there'll be like this long-winded fight, and you'll see a dude get hit with like a brick or a box, and it'll be like Capelli, like just pop up, and it's like, and I just love that
Yeah,
shit,
that's
and
cool.
like it's just cool,
That's
and
nice
it's
that
just
they
like
have that. I feel like that's for the fans. It's nice when
it's
they do
just
stuff
so
like that.
entertaining to see stuff like that. It was so campy and corny, but it was really just fun and lighthearted and good to watch. But like, I digress. I really grew up reading all those comics and like, I was always a Spider-Man fan. I was always a Wolverine fan. Like I'm a fan of tons of comics, but Batman is my numero uno bitch. He's number one. Everybody else is like number 2 and 3. But dude, I know everything about those other characters just as much as Batman. But I go the extra mile to know more about Batman just
Okay,
because I love his character,
that's fair.
his dedication. Dude, Batman is the shit. You can't fuck with him. He wants Superman, dude.
I mean, that's fair. You want to know
Super.
something that I figured out the
Yeah.
other day? Speaking of
What?
DC Comics,
What?
I figured out that Superman's kryptonite was an after the fact thing. It was never
Yeah.
part of his original thing. I was
Yeah.
supposed to be, I want to say, I don't know if it was in the 60s or the 70s where they had the Superman show and he wanted to take a vacation. And it was like, I don't give a fuck about your show. I'm taking a vacation. So they needed a way to like sort of like kill Superman or put him out of commission so that this guy could get fucking 2 weeks off.
Mm-hmm.
And they came up with
Yeah.
kryptonite.
I can see that.
Yeah. And it's so funny because this aftermarket, after the fact thing has kind of become a thing in our language and how we speak. Like, oh, cheesecake is my kryptonite.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you see, the neat thing about Superman is like before he became what he was, is he wasn't as powerful as he was back then. He couldn't fly. He was just able to leap tall buildings in a
yeah,
single
he
bound.
turned into a fucking monster as
Stronger
time
than a
went on.
locomotive. Like, he was able to defy the laws of physics and do all that shit. And like if you watch the old serials cartoons that they made, those were really cool. Like, you would see him like fighting like this weird robot or trying to stop like a laser beam, and he's just like fighting it and just using sheer willpower to overpower it. It's
Right.
just cool seeing that old school style Superman give it his all. It was more like him just working out or anything.
So what you're saying, it was more kind of like a Luke Cage type of thing, like where he was just really strong but like not like
Well, yeah.
fucking retarded strong.
Oh,
But
dude, he was the strongest there is. I mean, nobody could touch him at that
well,
at that point. I
now it's
mean,
at the point where he's sitting there like holding up millions and millions of
well, you
fucking
see, super
tons.
well, like his strength was what they summed it up to be. He was more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, faster than a speeding bullet. That's just what he was. They summed up his powers and strength like that, which he
Well,
was
yeah,
at
because
the time.
to be fair, those were the things that were like the
Those were
strongest to
powerful.
mankind.
Those were powerful things at that time, and then they've evolved over the years. And then, like they said, that was during the golden age of comics. And then when the silver age came out, they revamped everything to more of a sci-fi
I
thing
feel like
instead
I
of
jinxed you because
mystical.
you're rubbing your eye now. Dude, my eye is so itchy right now. I don't know why.
Well, like what I'm saying is, the golden age, like everything was kind of bland. It was like just magic and just freak accidents.
Right.
And then like when
Yeah,
the
sort of
Silver
like
Age of comics
Smallville, how
came,
every fucking villain decided to pop up. It was all some weird accident with the
yeah,
meteorite.
and then the Silver Age of comics is really neat though because they brought a method to the madness. Like they reintroduced the Flash instead of Jake Garrick, it was Barry Allen, and this crazy freak accident, he gets struck by lightning and all these chemicals fall on him, and he becomes a
Yeah.
speedster.
Yeah.
Green Lantern finds a ring through a space alien instead of him having this magical lantern that just gives him powers, and he has a cool ring that he recharges. There's a method to the madness with that. Superman is an alien from outer space, and
Yeah.
they
They
just
just
really
started
built
adding
upon
more and more.
they built upon the lore of the characters and made it really neat, and people love that. And then, that was just the silver age of comics for DC. And then while the silver age of comics was going on for them, they revamped up some stuff for Marvel where, they were getting into their own thing with the X-Men and introducing characters like that. And those are really groundbreaking times and stuff. Like, you were seeing like, when the Hulk came out, Hulk was originally gray. A lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, I remember.
And then,
Well, not that I remember, but I knew that.
and then somebody just was like, dude, like, why don't we just give him some color? And they went through so many ideas, and somebody actually just really, at least from what I'm told, they spilled ink all over a comic. I mean, all over a drawing, and Hulk was green. And then they said, well, he needs some sort of definition. And they give him some purple pants or something like that.
Right,
And then
right.
boom,
It kind of
you know,
works.
and it worked, and it stood the test of time. And I mean,
Do you think that might have been a thing that might have taken from DC with the Joker? How purple and green kind of just go together?
it's possible. It's
Yeah.
possible. But you see, here's the neat thing though. They copy each other so much and they openly admit it that it's kind of funny now where they like, some of their characters are based off of other characters. And it's cool. Like Deadpool is a total ripoff of Deathstroke. They openly admit that.
Yeah.
His name is Slade Wilson. Deadpool's name is Wade Wilson.
Yeah. But it works for him because Wade Wilson is supposed to be this breaking the fourth wall character.
Mhm.
And he's probably one of the only characters who's actually crossed over to other universes.
The neat thing about it is that even though they copied the idea, those characters are very different in their own rights. Like, Slade Wilson's a very serious person.
Yeah. And Wade
Calm,
Wilson is just
calculating.
nothing but jokes.
He's over the top. He's a fucking moron,
Yeah.
with badass sword skills. So it's like they find ways to make him different and it works out.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds fucking killed it.
Oh, dude, like Ryan
really
Reynolds
did.
really. I loved when I was introduced to Deadpool. It was kind of neat. I remember him in the early '90s. I found a comic book with him, and this dude he had like really cool swords.
Yeah.
And then I had some cards of Deadpool, and he kept saying the merc with the mouth, and he was just a guy that just like really like wouldn't shut up and just says the weirdest stuff and does the weirdest stuff and loves chimichangas. And
He loves
Cool.
chimichangas. I love that.
Yeah.
That's one of the facts. It's fucking great.
Yeah. And then, like, growing up, I just read all sorts of comics. Like Spider-Man is near dear to my heart. I have a lot of
I
comics.
like Spider-Man. Spider-Man's definitely one of my top ones. Like I said, I was saying to you earlier, but Wolverine is definitely one of my. I feel like it's Wolverine as I get older. It turns into Wolverine. I've always been a bigger fan of Marvel than DC, but out of DC it would be Flash for sure. I love
growing
Flash.
up, I read a fair share of Marvel, and my dad had a lot of Wolverine comics, and I
Yeah,
love
I was
Wolverine.
always
I
into
remember,
Spider-Man when I was younger, but it just
a
grew
lot
into
of people were.
Wolverine because like that's kind of what Spider-Man is. He's a kid, you know. He's a kid that's just trying to make ends meet, and that's really what we all are when we're a kid, you know.
What made Spider-Man super neat for me is they made like an animated TV series that came out in the 90s, and it was so good.
I
It
still
was
to this day haven't watched the entire thing.
it's really good.
See, I've
They
watched the old ones, you know, the original one, Spider-Man,
oh
Spider-Man.
the 70s ones,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've watched
That
that
was a
one.
catchy ass theme song,
It
dude.
was
Catchy as fuck.
does whatever a spider can.
Spins a web any
Any size
size.
catches thieves just like flies. Look out! Here
Here
comes the
comes the
Spider-Man. That was a
Spider-Man.
good fucking theme song,
Dude, it
and that
really
caught on
was.
too. It really caught on. The only thing that was sort of kind of catchy with that, weirdly enough, was Batman.
Batman.
Batman. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the Adam West one, and that one stood out, but that was like very different because that was really designed for adults to really watch more
It,
than the
it
children.
it makes sense.
But, kids watched it, adults watched it.
Yeah,
It
because
wasn't too
Batman's supposed to be like this like gritty sort of dark character. And I feel like they've always tried to capture that in movies. I feel like they just keep fucking it up.
well, they did one thing that was really right, how like Batman is always like a step ahead. Like he always had gadgets for everything. But the most iconic bat gadget in the Adam West repertoire is the shark repellent. Uh, I'll have to show you the movie. I have the movie, but it's still something that people talk about to this day. Because in the Adam West Batman movie, there's a movie, yeah. Um, he's on a helicopter and
I'm
he
gonna
gets
have to
attacked by
grab
a
that.
shark. And he's like fighting a shark. And he's like beating the crap out of it, fighting it like it's just a rubber shark.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, Robin, give me the shark repellent. And Robin drops down, drops some shark repellent, sprays it on him, and then the shark flies
Like
down
of
and just
all
explodes.
contingency plans to have, that's the one.
Yeah. And it's just this spray as a shark repellent, and then he sprays it on him, and then instead of the shark like just like letting go, it freaking just it drops in the water and explodes. And it's like, wow,
What
like
the fuck?
yeah, it's like that ain't no shark repellent, that's shark explosives
Yeah,
though.
that's like something a redneck would fucking invent. Be like, wanna go
Yeah.
shark hunting, boy? Huh?
Yeah,
Watch
like
these
that's like
motherfuckers explode.
yeah, like it's so cool to see that shit. It's like you can laugh at a lot of it, and it's really stupid. There's no method to the madness, but it's just like when you're a little kid, it's like, oh. But I love watching the TV show. Like it was way before my time,
Oh
but they
yeah.
used to show it on a channel called TV Land, and I would just sit there and
I
watch
think
me
I
and my
got that
brother.
movie, but did I get that Adam West movie? I want to say I did.
I don't know. I have it on Blu-ray. I saw it for like
Dude, these
$5 and I had to
fucking
buy
fruit
it.
flies, I swear to God, I'm gonna eat their mother. Fucking yeah, these fruit flies are insane. I hate fruit flies so much.
I had a bad problem with fruit flies a couple, like a
Boiling
month or two
water and
ago.
bleach in the drain.
Uh, oh, bleach with apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar.
You just reminded me of this TikTok.
I was about to say apple cider vinaigrette for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah. But like,
Apple cider vinegar only attracts them.
yeah, but when they get into bleach and everything,
Yeah,
that'll
so
kill
you
them.
can do a thing where you get apple cider vinegar, and I think you put like honey in it or something, and like you put saran wrap over the top and like poke like little holes so they go inside and then they touch the water and then they just die. But
Yeah.
what's weird is that my girlfriend's coffee mugs that she doesn't finish drinking, actually end up doing a better job than those fucking things. You see like 50 of them in her fucking cup when she leaves it there for a fucking day.
Ew. Gross.
But
well,
sorry, I'm trashing my girl on the podcast.
hear that? You're a slob. You disgust me.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
I've had enough. But
I said good day.
I said good day, sir.
I said good day.
You remember that from How I Met Your Mother? He goes, I said good day, sir. And he just sits there and like stares at him. And he goes, the only reason why you're waiting there is just so that you can, I said good day, sir. He's just like, just to shout it one more time.
Yeah. I remember Faz from that 70s show, he would say, I said good day. And then if you said Faz again, and he said, I said good day. And then after that, he would get like angry and just walk off. And it was so funny because that was his thing.
Yeah.
And it was like, he would say it like once or twice.
You know, I never really watched that show either. That 70s show.
That 70s show is a great one. Now,
I watched a little bit of it. I really tried to get into it, but I just couldn't fucking do it, man. I don't know why. I just couldn't watch the whole thing.
You want to hear something funny? That 70s show took off, right? Then, like, literally, when that show was a hit, a year later, they made a show following it called That 80s Show. And that show flopped because it was literally trying to ride the coattails
a lot
of that 80s show.
Yeah, because they tried to do that 80s show. The same thing how it did How I Met Your Mother. They turned into How I Met Your Father. They're always trying to revamp the show. Like, come up with something new, motherfucker.
But then, like, that 90s show is what makes that neat is because it's relative to that 70s show, where that 80s show was just a new group of ragtag misfits or whatever the fuck they were.
That's what How I Met Your Father is. It's just I wanted it to have some ties, but the only real good tie that's there is that they're in the same apartment. They happen to end up getting the same apartment, and it's like a group of friends, but it's like super progressive. Like there's a lesbian person, there's a trans person, there's like a black bi person. Like this, it's like, and it's mostly a group of women rather than a group of guys and like two girls. You know what I mean?
Now there was this show that came out that had a lot of people from American Pie, and I love the show. It had John Chow in it. It had the guy who. It had it had some people from American Pie.
I'm not gonna lie. American Pie is something that I've tried it a couple times and I can't do it.
I really like the show based off of like a few of the characters from the American Pie movie. It's called Off Center. And like these guys are roommates. They're just young guys. One of them has like a girlfriend that they're like off and on. The other one, he's like a playboy. The other one, he's like a dude who's just like, is weird. It really worked. It was like a sitcom and it was really funny. And, you know, it had a good cast, I think. Yeah. And I loved it. You should like try to find it, put it on a Plex. That could be a really cool one.
Put it in the Discord. Just save it for a rainy day because the drive is almost done. Actually, I'm into the part where I'm actually going into the fixing process now, so it should be done in like the next 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, I know Razor is gonna fucking be happy. He's gonna cry. Be like, yes,
dude, I'm gonna be fucking happy, dude. I haven't been able to use it at all.
Yeah.
Can't wait to be able to watch Entourage again on my fucking TV like a normal person.
Funny, speaking of Entourage, we've been doing like we've been on this Entourage kick.
We really have been
type of thing,
and it's crazy. It's funny that now that the Plex is down and we don't have the option to watch it, is now when we're in the Entourage kick. But for anybody who hasn't seen Entourage, very loosely based on Mark Wahlberg's life and his buddies from high school. And it's sort of supposed to be like him trying to come up in the world and like who his agent is, who his brother is, who his friends are. Like it's sort of this whole like ragtag group of people, and it's fun, you know. And it's not for today. I'm gonna say that right now. It's definitely
Mark and the real Funky Bunch.
Yeah, it's not a PC show. So if you watch it and you want it to be PC, it's not gonna be. I'll tell you that right now.
It's very graphic and
well, graphic isn't a problem. I don't think people even have problems with nudity nowadays. It's more or less the way they spoke. And I'm only saying this in reference to the show. You hear a lot of fags getting dropped. A lot of those. Stop being a fag. Stop being this. Stop being a pussy. It's old school. You know, it's 05. You know what I mean? That's just how people talked back then.
I think that's just how New York guys talked to each other. Well, I mean that in all honesty, that's just how guys talk to each other back then. We still talk to each other like that to this day. And you know, you want to hear the funny thing? I bet you if there's a gay group of friends, they probably call each other fags and pussies all by themselves too. I bet you
for
they're
sure.
fucking doing that.
Yeah.
You know, we can sit here.
We can save that for another time as much as we want to rant about that.
I'm just saying.
No, I know. Listen, we can cover it as much as we want. It won't matter. But yeah, Entourage is the shit, man. I fucking love Entourage. It is by far one of my favorite shows. And I kind of like, can I say this? I kind of like that I know more about it than you do. I like that I've watched the fuck out of it. Cause like, dude, and we actually tested this. We did like a couple of tests of like trivias of us taking tests of Entourage.
I knew some stuff that you didn't know, so shut the fuck up.
You knew two things that you knew two. Oh no, I'm sorry, three. You knew three questions that I didn't know. But out of 50, by the way, we did 5 tests at 10 questions apiece.
He did watch it a lot more than me, but I enjoy the show.
The thing is,
he watched it in a way that I just don't watch it or paid attention to.
No, see, I pay attention to it every time. I don't know if you're like this, but when I watch a TV show or if I watch a movie, I'm lasered. Like it happens sometimes where like my girl will catch me, and my mom used to catch me sometimes too, where I'd be watching a show and I'd be making the same face that they're making on the TV without realizing it because I'm so into it and I'm like copying their face. Because like I love imitating. It's one of my favorite things to do, but like I do it all the time. So like I'll just be like lasered in like that, and I'll just be watching it. And like I pay attention to so much, and like I try to pay attention to different things every time I watch it. So like sometimes like if Vinny is talking, I'll try to pay attention to how the other actors are being like, oh, he's talking right now, he's doing his lines, when's my cue? You know, sometimes you can catch that in a TV show. So like normally like when someone's talking, you pay attention to the person that's talking. But because I've watched it so much now, I look at the other people when they're talking just to see like how they're reacting to it and to see if they stay in character. It's fun. You know, I've watched it a lot. So it's definitely a thing for me. But either way, it was kind of impressive. Me and Chainber have gotten down to the point where we're like, we know that if we ever walk into some sort of trivia bar and there's an Entourage section, we're killing it. We're going to
crush it.
Nobody's going to be able to top it. Nobody.
We're going to make that our bitch.
Yeah. I don't care if Carmen Electra calls for an emergency titty fuck. Just don't answer. And to any non-fans of Entourage, that is from the show.
Ari Gold reference.
Absolutely. Ari Gold's the man. Yeah, I fucking love that show. We've really been on a kick, though. It's so funny.
We really have, and it's kind of neat, though, because, like, you know, we want to watch it, and we can't really watch it the best way we can, because, like I said, the Plex is down, but we're still watching it on the Plex in a different way.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just kind of like, oh, dude, the Plex is down. We got to do it this way, another complicated way. Yeah. But it still works out. But either way, it's just kind of like, we got this.
Yeah. We're going to figure it out regardless. I told that to Jared when I was talking to him about it. And I was like, because he was asking, he's like, well, you guys didn't do the podcast yesterday? And I was like, no, we didn't really feel like it. We were going to stream. And then we started watching Entourage. And he was like, you guys started watching Entourage? And I was like, yeah. I said, but the Plex is down. So how are you guys watching it? It's like, I plugged my hard drive into my computer and we started watching it that way. And he was like, oh, so you're that addicted? I was like, yes. It's like, we love Entourage. Okay. Like
we do. It sucks that he doesn't like it.
I think he would. He's seen a couple of scenes when he was over my house. And he laughed. He laughed at some of the stuff that was happening. And he enjoyed it. I felt like he could really like it. I mean, I don't think he'll like the ideal of it, but I think he'll like the camaraderie between them. That's what I like the most.
You know, a person I can really relate to if I was that like high strung.
Here's the
Billy
thing.
Wash.
I know you were gonna compare yourself to a character, and here's the thing about Entourage.
I can really relate to Billy Wash. In his
Everybody can.
like his art.
Everybody can. That's the thing. All the characters are relatable in their own way. Like they all have their own unique quality that you feel like you could have. Like Vince is really relaxed and laid back. Me and you are very relaxed and laid back. He's also really insecure sometimes. We are also really insecure sometimes. E is kind of paranoid, and he just like does things because he gets really worried about things. He gets anxious. We also get really worried about things, and we get anxious.
Yeah.
Turtle is really lazy, and he's a weed smoker, but he also wants to be an entrepreneur and make his own money and not have to work for anything.
Yeah.
We all aspire to be that.
Yeah.
Johnny Drama is a fucking panic attack waiting to happen, and he fucking knows everybody and is always trying to find a new opportunity. Like, oh, you got this for me. You got this for me. We've all been there. You can identify with every single character on that show, and that's why I think it makes it so
one of those
great.
characters on the show, probably not.
And Ari is the dude that gets shit done.
Yeah.
Call a helicopter. I'll be there in 5 minutes. That's the kind of person he is, and he's also a neurotic fuck too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They all have qualities that we enjoyed. That's why we like the show, because these fucking friends of theirs and all of them together are all the people that we kind of have. You know,
I kind of wish they bring the show back. I feel like it needs to keep going,
No,
or like,
no, they
or
should
like
leave
bring it a new Entourage, or like Entourage.
They
Junior,
should leave it.
like
They should leave it
the Sons of
just
Entourage.
the way they have it. They should never continue that show over again. It is perfect the way that it is.
Well, yeah, but I mean, what if they did
The
like
movie
the
was
Sons of
great.
Entourage?
The movie was great because it was like it was a 2-hour
movie tied
movie.
all the loose ends.
It tied up the loose ends. It did everything pretty well. And it was like watching 4 episodes of Entourage in one go. You know, it was just continuous. And it was really nice. You want to know the only fucking thing I didn't like about Entourage?
What?
The cover. That's it. The cover was really stupid. You see what Vince looks like on that cover? It looks so dumb. It doesn't even look like Vince. I don't know what the fuck they did. If they airbrushed the shit out of him or they CGI'd him on that cover. Look at the cover. Look at the cover for the Entourage movie. It looks awful. When I saw it, I was like, oh, please don't let this be dog shit. And it actually ended up being really good. I had low expectations.
Well, I knew they were doing a movie, and I
knew they were too, but
like the TV show.
But if you look at Vince's face, it doesn't look like Vince. It looks like he had like a bunch of plastic surgery.
There's a rumor of an Entourage movie too.
No. Really? If they made another movie, I feel like I'd be okay with it. But if they made a show,
okay with them. I would actually be okay with them doing movies.
I'd be okay with them doing movies. You know what I'd be really okay with? If they remade the movies that he supposedly played in so that we could watch them. That would be really cool. I would like to have some sort of rendition of what the movies were, of the movies that he did in the show. That'd be awesome. Obviously not with like fucking multi-million-dollar budgets, but I would like to get some idea.
Okay. What's wrong with it, dude? He looks fine. I like his haircut.
Nah, man. It doesn't look right to me. It looks like when Zac Efron fucked up his jaw. You know? Like he got all that plastic surgery.
Poor Zac Efron. That motherfucker was gorgeous as fuck, dude.
I think he really did that for himself, though. Like he definitely broke his jaw. But he got fillers, though. He got some real...
No. He had to get reconstructive surgery.
No, reconstructive surgery is one thing. But, like, he went all out and did a bunch of shit for himself on top of that. He was like, fuck it. If I'm getting this, I'm going to get the whole package. I might as well just look like Ozzy Osbourne today.
I don't know. I don't know. I think he set himself back a lot, I feel like, because, you know, it aged him up more. I mean, because I think I'm a couple years older than him. And
yeah, Zac Efron always had baby face though. He always looked like a young person.
Yeah, and I'm literally like a year or two older than him. He
looks. I swear to God, Zac Efron has consistently looked like he's in his 20s.
Yeah, and like now he looks like he's like 42. He looks significantly older, and it's because the jawline has filled him out more and everything.
Yeah,
and I feel bad for him because, like, you know, I feel like that kind of is going to either help him out or kill his career. Because he doesn't look bad, but he doesn't look.
I think he looks bad.
Especially, I think he doesn't look good. Like,
stop trying to sugarcoat. He doesn't look good. It's bad. It looks terrible.
I mean, you know,
it looks like he got stung by 15 bees.
I feel bad for him because he's a good-looking guy.
I feel bad for him, but like I can't help but go for the joke. He looks terrible, man. It looks awful. It looks like it looks like one of those disfigured mannequins that stay in place when you punch them. You know what I'm talking about? You know, like you punch them and it's like a mold, but it like stays that way. Or like those those boxing bags that are in the shape of an actual dude, and it's got like that fucking flat top haircut. He looks like one of those things. I can't help it, man. It's funny.
Dude, Zac Efron.
All
just
respect
needs
to Zac Efron. Zac Efron's a good actor, and he was a beautiful human being, but he just doesn't look
You
good.
know what? I liked him in Baywatch. It was him and The Rock had neat. Him and The Rock had neat chemistry in that movie.
Yeah, I never watched it. I couldn't really say.
It's not a bad movie.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Have you seen any new movies? Speaking of, anything new that you're interested in, or that you even want to watch? It's fucking fruit fly. I swear to God, bitch. I think I got him. Yeah, I got him. No more flying on my fucking face, bitch ass motherfucker.
Okay, what was the question again? Like movies?
Yeah. Have you seen anything that's on the come up or on the releases that you may want to see? I have one. Scorsese's new movie looks really fucking good.
Which one is that?
I gotta look it up again. His new movie is called Killers of the Flower Moon. It's supposed to be released soon. I saw the trailer. It looks fucking great.
The only movies that kind of interest me,
it's with Leo and De Niro.
The only movies that interest me right now that I kind of want to see, I kind of want to see Oppenheimer.
I want to see Oppenheimer. I fuck Barbie. I don't want no part of that. I love Gosling, but fuck Barbie.
I do want to see. I still need to see the first one. I need to see the the Conjuring universes stuff. I watched a few movies.
Yeah, I gotta finish those up too. I think I want to watch.
I want to watch The Nun and The Nun 2. I've seen Conjuring 1 and 2. I still need to see Annabelle 1 and 2. But I wanted to see The Conjuring first and then watch all the other spinoffs. But I do want to see The Nun because I heard The Nun's really fucking like over the top. That's like the real scary one or something. Crazy. But see, I don't like watching those movies too because they give me really bad nightmares and shit. But you know, I like to get scared. Yeah, I have like it's something I was told where I shouldn't be watching movies like that because I have this weird. It's a weird thing. I'll tell you about it off screen later. But it's like I get really bad nightmares because of my spiritual religious beliefs and stuff. So like it kind of fucks with my head a little bit and makes me go a little paranoid and stuff. But you know, it's pretty over the top sometimes. You know, stuff like that gets to me.
I have a couple of things. You want to know something I've done? Weirdly enough, so I have an IMDb page, right? So like I loaded all my stuff onto there. Like I do all my watch list stuff, everything. So like I've been using it to track things on the Plex. I've been using it to like track things that I actually want to watch. Oh, actually, I can rate this now. I actually watched this. I recently watched Heat. I never saw it before. Heat with what is it? Al Pacino, De Niro, Val Kilmer. Yeah,
good movie, huh?
Great movie. It was really good. It's a solid,
I told you about that famous line, that famous part of the movie that was like so iconic.
When the heat, something about the heat.
Yeah, when they meet up and talk for the first time.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
There's a couple, but I have my watch list here, and I have a bunch of them on here, but I added a bunch of stuff like forever ago, and it's stuff that I don't even really feel like watching anymore. But it's there, you know, I can watch it whenever I want, but like it's all stuff that I added to my watch list that I want to watch, but I can't even like. So like I have the ones that I probably actually wouldn't mind watching is you ever see Push from 2009? I never saw that.
Oh, I love that. Great movie. See, the bad thing about that movie is it did really well in theaters, but it was supposed to get a sequel and it never did. And I'm really kind of mad because it's left in a cliffhanger and I would really love to see them come back and touch on that movie.
All right. Yeah. So that was one that I definitely wanted to see. I wanted to see the Steve Jobs film, the 2015. Never watched that.
Oh, never saw it.
The Martian with Matt Damon.
Matt Damon, that's a pretty good movie.
Pixels looked pretty good. I wanted to see that for a while. It was just like that gamer movie. Have you seen Pixels?
Oh, with Adam Sandler?
I think so. Yeah, I don't know who the fuck. I've never seen Transporter Refueled. I didn't think I was gonna like it.
Never saw it. Doesn't
seem like it was because Jason Statham is not in it. You know what I mean?
If Statham's not in it, why am I wasting my time?
Yeah, exactly. Although I have it on there just to see because I've seen all the other three. I want to watch all the Terminator movies because I haven't seen all of them. I would love to just go through all and just watch all of them. That'd be great. Bridge of Spies with Tom Hanks, 2015. Mr. Sunshine, 2011. The guy who plays Chandler Bing. I think is not LeBlanc. What's his name? Do you know what his name is? I always forget Chandler's name from Friends. I don't know. There's a couple of them that I have that I wouldn't mind
I don't
watching.
watch Friends, so in terms of wrong guy.
Fair enough. I wouldn't mind watching the live action of The Jungle Book. I wanted to watch My Big Fat Greek Wedding too. I still haven't watched that. Yeah, there's a ton of them on here. I want to finish up the Pirates of the Caribbean. I want to finish up the Walking Dead series. They apparently have like a bunch of different side shows now. I would love to see all those. They all kind of tie into each other. I think that's pretty interesting. But honestly, I really just want Rick to come back. I don't know if Rick ever does come back. I'm still empty on that one.
I'm not sure.
Fury looked really good. I wanted to watch Fury.
Oh, the Tank movie? I heard that's
Yeah.
really good, but I've never seen it.
Between that one and then there was another one called All Quiet on the Western Front. It was supposed to be World War II from the Germans' perspective. That seemed really fucking cool. But yeah, those are just some of the few that I had on my watch list. But I really want to see that new Scorsese movie. I would love to go to the theaters to see that.
Mm.
But what's going on with Hollywood right now? What the fuck is up with this strike?
Well, basically, there's a writer's strike and a actor's strike.
Okay.
Because
they're not getting paid enough money, I guess.
Well, I think it has to do with like insurance and stuff and food breaks and things like that.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but like, stunt people and all that are part of it. It's just something that, they're like, hey, we need to get paid more. And there needs to be like, apparently there's like these weird rules that have been going on since 1930 something. And they're still going, like how like lunch breaks and bathroom breaks and food and everything is handled and things like that in the actual working environment of filming is done. It's like I don't know. I'm not an expert in it, but that's just what I heard. It has something to do with like the work environments need to be a little bit more better for these people. Not to mention like stunt men and women are kind of like they're kind of the backbone of that type of business, and there's no real benefits for these guys because they're pretty much used up after they're done, and they're it's just nothing for them, and they're kind of like highly sought after people for what they do, and they sacrifice their body and stuff. But then there's also like other things pertaining to it that I don't really know the politics in, but it's just everybody's like agreeing and striking and stuff. So I'll think it is sorted out though, because like I was really upset because a lot of shows are going to be pushed back a year or two because of the strikes.
Okay.
Do
you want me to read this? It's a little long, but do you want me to read it? It's this article I just happened to come upon.
Yeah, go ahead, because enlighten me, because I don't really know 100% about what's going on.
Okay. Hollywood's writers are on strike, and here's why that matters. Okay. Studios and production companies want to make more money, in most cases to please the investors and the corporations that own them. And so they find ways to cut corners wherever they can. On top of it, technology always introduces uncertainty and changes in Hollywood, and the WGA's issues have to do with two big tactical changes: the prevalence of streaming and the looming challenge of AI. And as a result, writers are struggling to survive. With streaming services need a constant stream of content to attract and retain subscribers. For a few years, that's meant that Hollywood writers have been kept very busy, and new series were ordered all the time, which meant more jobs, in theory, for writers. But streaming services are in many regards the problem. Certainly, they created more jobs in production, or at least they did until recently, when studios started canceling shows and contracting their budgets, including those for streaming platforms. Yet the real problems are the type of jobs, the way studios keep costs down, and the deflation of wages, all of which make it hard for writers to pay their bills. It might seem counterintuitive, but while the number of jobs available has soared and the budget allotted to productions has risen substantially, the amount that writers in those jobs earn has gone down, in some cases quite significantly. According to a bulletin that the WGA produced this spring ahead of negotiations, the average writer-producer pay, many writers working in a TV pickup, a producer credit as well, has actually declined 4% over the past decade. If you adjust that for inflation, it's a 23% decline. And that's in a world where the cost of living has soared, particularly in major cities where the jobs tend to be, in LA, Hollywood, what have you. There are a lot of complex reasons for this, which some of which require pretty technical explanations, but some of them are observable to the average person. Most TV shows on streamings have far shorter seasons than their broadcast cousins, 8 or 10 episodes as opposed to 22 or more. And that means writers get paid less for each job. The space between seasons can also be very long on streamers, years or more, rather than the few months of a broadcast show. Significantly more writers at all levels are working for the NBA than the past. And though there are fewer episodes in a season, streaming showrunners, the people who are ultimately in charge of managing shows and making creative decisions, are working as long as their peers in broadcast TV, per the WGA's report. But because of the way the contract is set up, their median salary is about 46% of the broadcast median. I mean, there's so much more. I could be sitting here for hours.
Oh yeah, dude, it's crazy
But
because
so essentially, they're
that's
just. I mean, it makes sense because like streaming services like Netflix, streaming services like Hulu and Prime Video, and all those places are kind of shitting out shows left and right. Which honestly, in my opinion, is why everything sucks. And most of the time, I don't think writers even remotely have the time or the energy to be able to write anything good or come up with any original ideas because they're being pushed so hard to work. But yet, because the episodes in the series are so short, it's just they can't fucking get paid.
But see, the thing is, though, it's like they got so many other people because it's crazy. Because like you can be an established, critically acclaimed writer, and you could be dropped the next time around, and it's like, you know, they write so much stuff that gets secondhanded or reused sometimes, and like I've heard of like just crazy things of how they've done writers in the past, but it's like these guys, like some of these screenwriters, they live off of this shit for years.
Well, yeah.
Like there's some that just don't need to ever work again, but yet
Well,
they're still
yeah,
doing it.
just on residuals alone, you can imagine
Yeah,
how
so
how rich the writers are for like Friends and How I Met Your Mother and Seinfeld.
oh dude, the ones for Seinfeld, oh my god, they're living. Oh my god.
To be fair, most of the biggest writers on Seinfeld were what? It was Seinfeld, Larry David, and maybe there were a couple of other ones there. Like most
You
of it
know
was
what I'm thinking
improvisation.
about, like shows that still air to this day, like Family Matters and Fresh Prince of Bel Air. They're still getting residuals from that.
Yeah. It
They're
makes
still doing
sense.
pretty
It
fucking
makes
well.
sense why like those actors just kind of disappear into the wilderness because they don't ever really need to work again. They can live very comfortably just off their airtime.
Yeah, like if you did a really just acclaimedly really good show and you know how to manage your money properly, they're probably getting like $5,000 minimum of residual checks still to this day. Like you know, like I heard that that improv show that Nick Cannon has, Wild and Out,
Yeah.
a lot of the cast members of that show, they only do a handful of seasons. And the reason they say it's because they love the residuals, because it gets reran so much on MTV that those people are getting like $12,000, $2,000, $3,000 checks on residual checks alone that
Yeah, that's
air.
insane.
And like, you know,
That's
so
monthly,
like
right?
they love those residual checks. And like, you know, so like you could be on just a popular season of Wild and Out. They're gonna rerun that shit. And then so once the season's over, once it gets reran, boom, you're making money.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
it's like sometimes that's what it pays
I
to be in a
wouldn't
really good
mind getting
show.
into acting. Would you mind getting into acting? I feel like I'd be good at it.
I would love to do acting. I would love
That'd be
to
fun.
like see, the thing is with me though, I don't think I would want to do TV shows
No, I don't want to
because
get stuck playing the same character for years.
it's not that. I would love to do a TV show, but the problem is I would be like I would like to be on a TV show that's just so long running that I'm just able to make up my own lines. I don't have to like read scripts. I can just improv that shit. Some people are able to do that.
We can do
Some
that.
people aren't.
Me and you improv this entire podcast every time we come on here.
Always improv. But, you know, all I'm saying is that, you know, I would love for like me in general, like just being like I've done acting, I've done a few plays and stuff, and I've been really good. My biggest claim to fame as in a play was I did Romeo and Juliet. I love the play and everything.
You also
I
love
got
that shirt from the movie.
oh yeah. Well, that's because we did the one based off of that one.
Oh, okay.
We did a modern style one,
That's
and
funny.
I love the clothes in there. But my character I didn't get to be. I wasn't a Montague. I was a Capulet,
Okay.
and I played Tybalt, Prince of Cats. So my character was like very flamboyant, proud, loud, and and I had my crew. And the neat thing about it was is that when we did a modern style of it where we didn't
So
we
hold
didn't
on.
dress like
Your character was you.
no. Like I consumed Tybalt. Like I took what I learned from
No,
John
you
Leguizamo's
are
version.
Tibble. Whatever they said that you needed to play, they were like, he can do that. That's what he is.
More or less. Like I played it like in a way that was really neat for me because like when we were doing a play, I was like
I would not care what you do to me.
I was like, oh my god! Like I remember this one part where like I'm at a party and I see Romeo, and I say, does that slave dare to humiliate us in front of our family? He shows his face here. I said, in the honor or something of my kin, I hold it not a sin. I will strike thee. And then I'm marching and going abruptly from the table. And then your uncle stops you, and he's like, nephew, where are you going? I'm like, uncle, look over there. Is that Romeo, our foe, a Montague? And then your uncle's telling you, leave him alone, don't bother him. I'm like, how can I not endure him? And then my uncle, he's supposed to like push me and threaten me. He's like, you're gonna make a mutiny among my guests. Do not do so. And and it's just like I'm like, but uncle, and then I'm just like angry and stuff. And like, you know, I get to play like this really angry role. And like, so my character, like, I get mad. And in the script, I did something that was like, he's supposed to take the wine that he holds in his hand and he's supposed to like just drop it and walk off. Well, instead, I fucking take the wine glass and I throw it up against the wall and it splatters. And like, I just did something completely different and walked off. And then the uncle, he looks at me and I just keep walking off. And it was just such great acting on my part. I got like praises for like my improvisation right there on a little detail of the scene.
I would love
make
to
it
do
look
that. That'd be
more like
fun.
I was more angry.
I feel like I could do that pretty well. Like, cause like it's just fun to do. I love to like like consume myself as a character and voices. I would love it if I could do voice acting, bro. Yo, I could do that for the rest of my fucking life.
Dude, I love like
voice acting.
I love playing Tybalt. Like, I was like, Romeo, the love I bear thee cannot. What did I say? Cannot contain more better than this. Like, I haven't done the role in so long, but dude, it was like the love I bear thee cannot endure anymore, and you just want to fight him. And so we're like, let's draw your sword. And Romeo doesn't want to fight, and I'm just
Draw
like,
your sword, you scoundrel!
Well, like they gave us these guns, right? And they just shoot blanks, right? So because we were basically doing the live action movie,
right? But
just
modern,
more, So I'm like, turn and draw your sword. So then when he doesn't, I get mad and I take the butt of my gun and I just hit the actor over the head with it really hard. And his name was Drake, and I just hit Drake so hard in the back of his head, and he's like, ow. And he said, damn it, Chainber, that hurt.
That's
and I was
funny.
like, I'm sorry. And I got really into it. And then, but see, my teacher, Miss Luce, she was like, no. Do that again.
And he's
just
like,
don't really hit him. just don't hit him for real. Like, so I like, because they were like, whoa, you're getting really into this. And, so.
It's fun, man.
Yeah,
it really
like,
fun.
because I was chasing him down. And, and I'm like, turn and draw. So then I hit him, he falls down on the ground, and I'm just kicking him like, turn and draw. And then he like pulls his gun, he's like, be satisfied. Too
funny.
And I just like, and I'm just like thinking of John Leguizamo in this film, in this setting. I'm like, knocking out his head, I'm just punching him. And then Mercutio runs up and saves him. Then we have a little fight. And Mercutio gets stabbed in the movie. He gets stabbed by glass,
right?
Like Mercutio throws me on this thing of glass, but we didn't have nothing like that. I had a switchblade, and I pull it out, and I fucking try to stab Romeo, and Mercutio takes most of the cut, and then he ends up dying by the cut, and then that's where the scene ends, and then I'm screaming like thou wretched boy, and it was just so much.
Yeah, it was fun.
And
Yeah, it's fun.
And then and then I get shot and I die, and I just fall in a pit of dirt.
The motherfuckers killed me off.
Yeah, but dude, I had this fly ass outfit though, bro. It was so fly, because Temple, I'll never forget. I've never worn leather pants in my life until that day, and dude, it was so cool because the Capulets in this version, we were like bikers. And the Montagues were these preppy, it was like they were
take my handkerchiefs.
No. They were we were like family alike in dignity. They were bikers too, but they were
so you were bikers, but then the other ones were maybe hippies.
They were like a clean version of bikers. They were like a more they wore a different esque type of clothing. We looked more like the how do I put it, the Sons of Anarchy style bikers and stuff like
dirty,
that.
Dirty, grimy.
Well, some of us were grimy. Remember, my character's clean. He's flamboyant and beautiful. The Capulets were we were more like the glamorous style of the bikers. And the Montagues, they were more like the flashy, the fancy ones with the loud colors and stuff. And the Montagues, they had red and
so you were
white.
So you were like the Macy's compared to Target.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. And it was kind of neat though, because it was loosely based off of their styles and stuff, and we just didn't have the budget. It was like a school budget, and nobody wanted to wear we were let's be bikers and motorcycle a gang
make it your own. Yeah,
so we were it was families alike in dignity, and they could have did the rich wealthy and all that other stuff, but we didn't do it like that. It was biker feud type of thing, and it was so cool. And dude, we were fighting and everything, gang wars, thug life, and I'll never forget my brother. He was one of the extras and stuff. He throwing up gang signs like this and stuff. It was funny. It was hilarious.
Just be walking through the set like this.
Mm-hmm.
Bitch.
Yeah.
But that's funny.
Yeah.
Do you remember that dude, as kids? You do that?
Yeah. I'll never forget though, Drake. I felt bad for him because when I hit him in the head, because he's Romeo, right? And I'll never forget because when I hit him in the back of his head, I hit him pretty fucking hard, and he think I did it on purpose because I auditioned for Romeo, and he's like, I think he did it on purpose because he didn't get the role Romeo. I was like, nah, I'm good. But you see, my girlfriend at the time, her name was Misty, not to be confused with the Misty. She was Misty. She was Juliet.
Okay.
And Misty was mad that I didn't get it. And I was like, nah, I'm cool. I don't want to be Romeo anyway. And this dude.
But you auditioned for Romeo.
Oh, yeah. I didn't get it, but I was cool. But I think it's cute, though, that he thought that, because
it's a white kid that got the Romeo, huh? The white kid got Romeo.
I was surprised she got Juliet because I didn't think she was going to get it.
What, Misty?
Because there was a girl way better than her who was I felt Clarissa would have been a better Juliet than her. Yeah, I figured Misty would have got Rosaline or something like that, like somebody else. But no, Misty, she was just not a really good actress.
Yeah, she's gonna watch this later and be like, "Fuck you, Chainber."
Well, she also didn't look like Juliet. What I imagined Juliet to look like.
Excuse the fuck out of me.
Okay, Misty, she was
your girl at the time. Support her.
She was, but bro, she was a dorky girl. She had freckles and blonde hair.
I'm Juliet.
She was like a super corny white girl.
She talks? Does she talk like that?
No.
That'd be funny.
I really liked her though.
Love you, Chainber. I love you.
Me and her didn't go out. Me and her didn't go out for very long, but we still stayed friends. And I really respect her, and I hold her in high regard as my first real big serious girlfriend.
Okay,
at the time.
Fair enough.
But her name was Misty. Also, not to be confused with the Misty.
You said that already.
Yeah, I just want to set the record straight. But yeah.
Hold on, really quick. You can edit this out later, but I don't like that bitch.
Shh. Had to cut that bitch off.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, actually, I don't really care if Misty is watching this. Fuck you.
All right, fair enough.
I don't give a fuck. Like,
Fair enough. All right,
but dude,
if you don't care, then leave it in and me those stupid ass claps in there too.
yeah. But anyway, I think we've gone over the time. Like, I think we should call it here.
Yeah, we're at like 112.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've gone a little over, but to be fair, I started recording like 10 minutes before, so we're really only like an hour 2, I think. But
Okay.
that's not bad. But either way, we can wrap it up.
Yeah.
My name is Davo. That boy over there is Chainber. You can follow him pretty much anywhere. He's got a TikTok, he's got a Twitch, he's got a Twitter, he's got all the fucking social medias you can imagine, and they all go by the name of Chainber TV. That's CHANBER TV. And you can pretty much follow me anywhere. Same thing, except mine is either Lean Armenian or the Lean Armenian. Armenian spelt ARMENIAN. Thank you all for watching. Have a good fucking night. Peace.